Hi, good morning everyone. My name's Jordan. I'm the Film Studies teacher here at Newcastle Sixth Form College. It's lovely to meet you all, albeit virtually through a computer screen at the moment, but such are the times. Nevertheless, this short video is all about me giving you some information about the course, maybe to answer any questions that you might have, and really just give you a bit of a background about what we do here at Newcastle Sixth Form College. I'll cover three main things through the video. There'll be a background to the course. I'll talk about what components we do, what films we study, and a little bit about coursework. I'll then just give you a little bit of an overview about what I like about the course, some of my personal highlights. And then finally, what I'll do is I'll just introduce you to some of the activities that we get up to at A-level film studies here at Newcastle Sixth Form College, and I'll introduce your enrolment task and just give you a little bit of context about why it is that we've chosen that activity. Okay, so at Newcastle Sixth Form College, Film Studies is made up of three main components. I'm going to speak about Component 1 and Component 2 in this part of the video, and then in the next part of the video briefly speak about Component 3. So Component 1 and Component 2 make up the bulk of your A-level grade over the 2 years here at Newcastle Sixth Form. It's approximately 70% of your grade, and over those 2 years what we do is we give you the skills, the real key analytical skills that you need to be a successful film studies student. Over this period we engage with a wide range of films. We look at films from Spain, from Brazil, we look at British films, we look at American films, we look at Hollywood, we look at New Hollywood. In particular, student favourite seems to be Pan's Labyrinth by Guillermo del Toro. Students also like City of God, a Brazilian film which deals with the favelas and the poverty, a real aesthetically pleasing film, but that also is very hard-hitting. But then we also take a step back and think about really where cinema began, and we look at silent film and we watch what is known as the most expensive silent film ever made, Sunrise, by a German director called F.W. Murnau. And what we do here is we look at the impact of silent film and how often film movements can inspire different films and directors. So a really, really nice group of films. We always have fun analysing, taking them apart. But really the bottom line is giving you the skills to go in to the exam and analyse and address the questions that you are being asked. So very briefly, just to tell you a little bit about the exams and the expectations, about what you'd be working towards as an A-level film student here at Newcastle Sixth Form College. There are two exams, one for Component 1 and one for Component 2. Both are 2.5 hours long, and they are designed to test your analytical ability and also your ability to be able to address specific questions, specific approaches to films, and specific specialist areas. As I said, over the course of the 2 years, we will hone those skills so that you go into the exams ready to do the best you can and show the examiner that you're a brilliant A-level film studies student. So just finally, Component 3 is all about coursework, and there are two main production briefs. You can either make a short film of up to 4 to 5 minutes, or you can choose to write and create your own screenplay with a supporting digital storyboard. Both options give you the chance to be very creative, to draft, to think and to plan, and to really exercise those analytical but also creative, imaginative skills that you may need depending on your progression route once you've got your A-level here at Newcastle Sixth Form College. As I'm speaking and just talking a little bit about both, hopefully there should be some examples of student work going across the screen. What I've done is I've taken some still images of short films and posted them, and I've also taken some examples of screenplays and digital storyboards. So hopefully you can see the level of quality that we expect here at the Sixth Form. The screenplay, often done by a lot of students, gives you the chance to really develop an idea, to use an industry standard professional screenplay software called Celtex or Celtex. And you really get that chance to make an idea and think, how would I visualize this? How would this look? How would the actors perform? What is it that I'm trying to create? because screenplays go to directors, they go to set designers, makeup artists, they will go to the actors as well. The digital storyboard is then a chance to visually create a key section of that screenplay. Again, we'd expect you to go out and take those photos, and we'd provide you with a template that you would use. The short film is something that, again, quite a lot of students choose to do. Over the course of the 2 years, we'd work on rough drafts. We'd then come together, sit down, edit it. If you have your own editing software, great. We have some really good software here at the college. But again, that short film gives you the chance to develop your creative skills and start to build up a creative portfolio which should support your progression routes. Regardless of whatever you pick, both do give you that opportunity to really fling yourself into the idea and make something your own. And it is an enjoyable part of the course, and it allows you to sort of take a little bit of a break from the exam and the written analysis side of things and really get those creative juices going. In terms of some of my favourite highlights or personal highlights about A-level film studies, I think the first thing to say, and probably is the most important, is that I love meeting like-minded film students, people who have a genuine enthusiasm for film, who come to the course with lots of things to say about film, who go home and watch things from all over the world. And I also enjoy meeting students who may not have done film studies before. Often when I do advice and guidance evenings, I'll have students who ask, do I need to have done this at A-level, at GCSE? And the case is always no. We start from the bottom and we work up. And that really leads me to what else I really like about the course. And my personal highlights are those early lessons where we do the skill building sessions. I enjoy introducing you to a wide range of films, films that we won't be writing about in exams, but films that offer us the chance to really develop our analytical skills, whether it be cinematography, editing, lighting, performance or sound. So the first 2 terms are really enjoyable for me. That's not to say I don't like the rest of the course, but those are my highlights, where we start fresh, we look at some really interesting and engaging films. A favourite is often Tarantino's Kill Bill Volume 1, Wes Anderson's Grand Budapest Hotel. We also watch La La Land by Damien Chazelle, sometimes Whiplash. These are really good films for developing our analytical skills before we start the specification work. So really meeting like-minded film students, people who are interested in film, but also those students who may have never done this, and then those skill building lessons early on where we watch loads of different things, have a chat, and really pull films apart. That's my personal highlight of the course. So as we come towards the end of this video, what I'd like to do is introduce your activity that I'd like you to have a go at during the taster day today. So the film in question is Guillermo del Toro's Pan's Labyrinth, and this came out in 2006. It's a film that deals with the harsh realities of the Spanish Civil War, but for anyone who knows del Toro, it also takes on that blending of fantasy and reality, with references to mythology, with fairy tale, and also Alice in Wonderland. So your task is going to be to analyse a still from a really key sequence of the film. The still in question is from The Pale Man's Lair. Just to give you a little bit of context around this still and this part of the film, the main character, our protagonist Ophelia, is sent on 3 key tasks. This is the second task, where she has to go to the Pale Man's Lair. Now the Pale Man, as you'll see from the still, is like a mythological monster who guards a table of food. And generally what happens is that people who go to the lair are they get taken in by the food, they become greedy, they take things, and as a result the Pale Man awakes and he generally eats the people who take the food. So quite grim. What I'd like you to focus on is just what we call the mise-en-scène of the shot or the still. And what we mean by mise-en-scène is just everything within the frame. In particular, we're talking about spacing, we're talking about colour, we're talking about costuming, we're talking about framing. And you might also want to think as well, if you want to challenge yourself, what type of shot have we got going on, what does it tell us about the pale man. Notice where he sat, and what this might tell us about his position and who he is. So what I'd like you to do is to just analyse this still. What does the mise en scène tell us? So that's basically anything we see. And this is a real free shot to develop your analytical skills. There are no right or wrong answers. It's just simply you looking at the still and thinking, what does the colour tell us? What does the costume tell us? What does the space between the characters tell us? And again, if you want to challenge yourself there, have a think about the shot type. What does the shot tell us about the pale man and the relationship between the pale man and Ophelia, who's the little girl you'll see in the still as well. Okay then, just finally, now that I've introduced the course and set your activity that I'd like you to complete and have a go at today during the taster session, I just want to very briefly talk about expectations and how you can prepare. I think the first thing to say is that you need to come to the lessons with an open mind. You will certainly be introduced to new films, not just on spec, but when we look at films during those early lessons for skill building. It may be that you find the films challenging, or they may be not what you would normally watch at home. Those successful students and the students who really get the most out of the lessons will have an open mind, be able to just take a step back and appreciate what it is that we watch. So just having that open mind is really important. I think the second thing is having a folder. That might sound really ordinary and basic, but it's essential that you have a class folder that you can store all of your notes from independent reading, from handouts, from screening handouts. We do use a lot of handouts, a lot of still analysis, so please arrive to the lessons with a folder. That's really, really important. And I think the third thing is to just bring yourself a sense of enjoyment. The lessons are usually really fun, and we have a great time analysing, pulling films apart, asking each other questions. So just really come to the lessons ready to learn, and just to have a great time and develop your film skills. If anyone does want to get in touch, I shall put my email on the bottom of the screen. And please, if you have any other questions or anything you want to ask, don't be afraid to send me an email. I'm usually very responsive, and I'll do my best to get back to you. Thanks very much. Bye.